Hi, YouTube. So I'm trying to find my happy place. Just finished recording the video review for Scandal. I was not the happiest person in that video, so hopefully some of my perkiness can come back. Because I was so disappointed in Scandal, but this is not about Scandal. This is about the best show on TV on Thursday nights. Shonda Rhimes' new baby, How to Get Away with Murder. So I believe that this is the second season. I do not know what episode this is, but I will post it below. And I don't know what the name of it. I'm so discombobulated because of that dang Scandal. But anyways, How to Get Away with Murder always gives me what I need. You know, you can never be disappointed with this show. So since this show flips around so many times and goes back and forth, I don't know how in the world I'm going to be able to keep up with reviewing this show. But I will just try to point out the major things that happened in the show and any nuggets and perhaps what I think will happen moving forward. So, as we know, it left off where Annalise, she was shot, then she was in the hospital, then she got out of the hospital. Bonnie brought her home. Bonnie wanted to help. I was wondering this whole episode, wasn't Bonnie mad at her? But now she's the one that seems most concerned about her. Okay, that's explained later on in the episode. But Annalise was most concerned about Christophe, also known as Wes. Side note, Wes was on the Wendy Williams show earlier today, and he is actually like very, 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 very British. Like he has a strong British accent. I never knew that, but it's so cute. Anyways, so she is like so concerned about him. She's like depressed this whole episode, and so is Wes. I feel like Wes is going through an identity crisis because he's like, how in the world do you know my real name? Okay, Annalise is in a lot of pain. However, she knows that she has to testify on the stand the next day, basically saying, yes, Catherine shot me, blah, blah, blah. Although we know that she made up this story. Side note, the students don't know that Wes was the one that shot her. What's her name? Rebecca is the one. It's not Rebecca. She's dead. Y'all know the little girl that's dating the fine man. I forgot, but whatever. Y'all know the Italian girl. She's the one that covered up and was like, I shot her. And then Michaela was like, why would you shoot her in the stomach? And she's like, I've never shot a gun before. She was basically covering up for him. Come to find out, she did that because she didn't want Wes to feel like, oh my gosh, they blame me for the murder of Annalise's husband. Now they're going to blame me for almost killing her. So she just took the fall for it. She is like the MVP all the time. I think she's the strongest person on the team. But anywho, so she's like checking on Wes all episode. Annalise is asking about Wes. Annalise was in a lot of pain, and they told her she can only take one Vicodin every 6 hours. Well, she was in so much pain, and she was very depressed where you kind of felt like she kind of like wanted to die. So she took a few Vicodins and she started hallucinating. She's thinking somebody's at the door, banging on the door, and it's a woman to drop off her baby. She's freaking out, like, I can't handle this. She calls Bonnie to come over, and she's like, Bonnie, I just got this baby to be quiet. You have to take it. You have to take it. Her eyes are watering, and then she disappears into the room. Then the camera pans back to Bonnie, and you see that there's no baby. It's just a blanket. So she's hallucinating, but there's a method to that madness. Okay, so the story continues on. Basically, Caleb doesn't trust Michaela and the rest of them, and he thinks they're evil, horrible people because he feels like they planted this shooting story on his sister. Meanwhile, Asher is depressed all episode as well. I mean, this was really a downer episode, but it's to be expected. So Asher was depressed because, of course, last season we found out his dad killed himself, where Asher went to the police station to file a police report because he felt like his dad would never kill himself. It had to be like a homicide. So the police still haven't been in contact with him. So he's pretty sad about that. So it's really good that all of the kids on the team, they're like working together to spend time with him, to make sure he's okay, because really they feel a sense of guilt because they never reached out to him before. They basically just like he was the oddball out, and now he's going through all this stuff emotionally, and they're just trying to pick up the slack from where they slacked off in the past. But anyways, so it's good to see him like a part of the group now. Oliver was more a part of the group than Asher was at one point, so it's good to see that. The little weird kid that they think is the killer, he's missing right now. As we know that the prosecutor, she's dead. Forget her name too. There's so many names in here. Okay, anyways, I'll be better with the next reveal. What other nuggets of information was important? Oh, Nate. So Bonnie went to go see Nate. Bonnie's really concerned about Annalise. So Nate goes to see her. He said he would have come sooner, but basically he didn't know if it was the right time. And like you can see, like her face is just like washed away. Basically, she just looks like horrible. Like, for lack of a better word, she looks a complete mess. And he's like, this is not used to like the Annalise that I'm used to seeing. I want to get to know you, but not like this. And she's like, you do know me. And he sees like the pain and depression and misery in her eyes. And he's like, you got to get past this. You got to get better. And she was like, you shouldn't have got involved in this. And he was like, well, Wes called me. I had no choice but to come. She said, you could have driven into the police station. And he's like, look, you were looking out for me, so I have to look out for you. So I think that Nate like genuinely cares and loves Annalise. There was just this like this sense of guilt that he was feeling because he had those feelings for her while his wife was like alive but dying. So I think he's getting past that. He wants to be there for her, but she's kind of just shutting everybody out. She apologizes to him, but she's just going through a tough time. So the kids decide to type up a letter for Annalise. They gave Annalise some like sleeping pills, and then they decide to type up a letter for her saying that she can't come into court because she's like doped up on pain meds and she's hallucinating. So here is her official statement, and then here's the 911 call. Okay, the prosecutor that died, her name is Sinclair. They're saying that the way that she fell, that's not the way that basically Annalise described it. They said, did Annalise see Catherine shoot her? And it's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of like hearsay. So then Annalise actually shows up in court, and she's like basically trying to construct a story, but she's bleeding. She's in so much pain. She stopped taking her pain medicine because she realized that she was hallucinating really bad. And the next thing you know, she breaks for a recess, goes to the restroom to like try to help her bandages. And what's her name? Once again, Bonnie is checking on her. Wes is outside the bathroom, like, you need to talk to me. You need to tell me what's going on. She's like, right now is not the time. He was like, I don't care, but the court was waiting for her. She goes back in, and she basically blows the trial because she is, like, bleeding, and she makes it so that her story is inadmissible in court. So she kind of, like, saves, like, Caleb and Catherine, and she basically told Caleb, this is what Catherine needs to say when she goes into the court, that she was drugged by Philip. That's the guy. She was drugged by Philip, and that she doesn't remember what she did. She doesn't remember shooting her, but she probably did. Catherine goes into court, and she said, I shot Annalise, but I don't like remember anything else, and I was drugged, all this stuff. So basically that messes up her lawyer's whole case, and they're going to do like a plea deal with her to give her like 5 years in minimum security. So she decided to do that on her own, so I suppose. Okay, so Bonnie is outside talking to Annalise, and she's like, I don't like seeing you like this. And Annalise is like, what? I mean, I'll be fine. I'm just, I got shot. And Bonnie is like, no, I think that you wanted to die that night. Like, basically, I think you want to die now. I'm not used to seeing you, like, suicidal. Like, don't do this. That's why you sent me away, because you didn't want me to see if you were to possibly die that night. And Annalise was like, well, you left, didn't you? She's like, well, I was upset, but, I'm over it now, and da-da-da-da. And Annalise is like, just don't worry about it. She's still stuck in, like, this deep depression. Then Bonnie's like, you need to go to the hospital. I'll drive you there. And she's like, I'll drive myself. You can just tell Annalise is just pushing everybody away, because as we come to find out, she's dealing with a lot of, like, demons, like, on the inside. Like, whatever the story is with Wes and Christophe is, like, really, like, eating away at her. So whatever, we see Wes in her house, and he's, like, searching, like, through all these files, her computer, searching for Christophe. He hasn't found anything, but he finds these sleeping pills that basically, if you take enough, then you die. So she, like, hears somebody in her house. Mind you, she's not supposed to walk up the stairs, but she decides to anyway to see what's going on. Then she sees Wes laying in the bed, but then she sees the pills, and she's freaked out, like, oh my gosh, is he dead? And then he turns over, and he's alive. And he's like, my mom, she killed herself, and I never understood why, but now I understand. She just wanted it all to just, like, stop. Like, you have to give me answers. Tell me what you know. And she's, like, crying, and she was like, you have to go, you have to get out. He was like, tell me what you know. She was like, you have to get out. Then he, like, gets up and, like, runs up on her, basically, and she, like, lifts up something to, like, defend herself, and he was like, do you think I would hurt you? And guys, they showed a flashback, and the same lady that she was hallucinating about with the baby is a lady that she saw in the flashback. And the lady was watching her son play basketball on a court in the community. Now, we're all assuming that this that this kid on the court is Wes. I remember seeing Wes in the interrogation, but I don't know if those two kids looked alike. I don't remember. But you do see Annalise is pregnant when she's talking to her. Well, we didn't know that she was pregnant before. We didn't even think that she was capable of having kids. And she looked pretty far along. Did she lose that baby? Did she have that baby? Was that baby perhaps Wes? Did she give her baby away to that lady? Is that why she was having hallucinations that the lady was giving the baby back and she said she couldn't handle it and there's a crying baby and she couldn't take it? I don't know. There are so many unanswered questions, but I was really hoping that Annalise would answer that at the end. At least give him something, tell him something, but she didn't. But we shall see where it goes with next week's episode. I'm so excited. She should be back to normal, back in, like, working, like, order. And I'm just excited to see where this goes. If you ask me, my theory is that Wes was her son that she once gave away. And, of course, this was before, like, she got married to Sam. But Wes was her son that maybe she gave away, and she felt guilt for that. And then she realizes that he was the one on the wait list, and that is why she let him in. And that's why she's kind of catered to him, because that's her baby that she didn't take care of then. So she feels like she has to take care of him now. That could be completely false, but those are my assumptions, my predictions, and we shall see where this goes next week. So, this roller coaster Shonda is taking us on. How to Get Away with Murder had us up here. Scandal had us all the way down here. So whatever writers she has for How to Get Away with Murder, perhaps we could borrow a few of them in Scandal. We'd surely appreciate that. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm getting my hair done in 2 days, thank God. Anyways, visit my blog at www.mrsblogaholic.com, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.